Hey there, button mashers! Welcome to Pause Menu, the weekly show where we go over the top news of the week. This week we're actually going to have a special guest co-host, because I'm sure most of you know, or if you didn't, Nellie D. Relish is down in Florida catching some rays on her vacation, so awesome friend of the show and channel, Foxy Fauna is going to join me today to help fill in for me. So let me go ahead and bring her in. Foxy, you there?
Hi guys! Yeah, as Zach said, I'm another YouTuber. I sometimes join in with the games during Trouble at Terrace Town and Prop Hunt, and we all have a laugh and stab each other in the back, but it's fine. It's
Mass paranoia.
Nice to be here.
Yep. I'll put up a little link in there at the end for that, so you guys can go check us out playing together. We do, a whole bunch of Gary's Mod stuff. We're thinking of looking in other games too, so hopefully we'll get some new stuff out for you guys as well. But let's get right into it today. We actually got some questions that were given specifically to Foxy, since people knew she was going to be on the show today. Our first one we got was from PanzerSG. He asked, actually a fairly long question, so give me a moment here. What's your take on single-player modes for next-gen games? With the success of games like Skyrim, Heavy Rain, and The Last of Us, is there a possibility for games in the future to be made without the tacked-on multiplayer and survive on their single-player merit only, or alone? What do you think, Foxy?
Well, it's long-winded. I basically thought that if they're successful as they are as a single player, like for maybe a couple of consecutive years, like Skyrim was, it's been successful for as long as it's been running, including the DLCs, which I love. I think you don't need to add anything more to it. Like, ZeniMax brought out the Elder Scrolls Online. Well, they're in development at the minute. And I just think, well, this could be a make or break situation. It could go really, really well, or it can suck, basically.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot away from the original game. Like, Skyrim has everything built around it because it's single player. It doesn't have any sort of room for multiplayer to be brought in. So, depending on how they go with ZeniMax, yeah, it can either be good or bad.
Well, like I'm thinking, with that game, the whole idea behind it is that you are this ultimate character. This is the thing that you've built all by yourself as a character that you've designed, and all these people are praising you. It's almost kind of like an ego boost for the person playing it, because they're all praising you. You're the big badass that's going around taking down dragons and crap, and they all look at you to be this hero, and it's all centered around you, not just this character. Like in other games, you're playing a character, an extension of the character. This is about you, someone you created that you get to decide whether they praise you out of love or praise you out of fear. Bringing this MMO aspect to it, it takes that core away. You're no longer this lone adventurer that's this amazing person. You're just a part of a group. Yes, I'm amazing. Yay, we are amazing. Yay. So that's where I'm kind of torn on.
I spent months and months getting so wound up and so excited because I thought, actually this could kind of work. This could be really good. If they can somehow twist it so that multiplayer has a reason to be multiplayer, then that would be great. And then I saw one of the live streams and I was kind of disappointed. I hate to break it to you all, but they've decided that it's going to be $15 a month, which is $8.99 for Great British pounds. And I won't be paying that, so I'm not going to play it. And especially for the quality of which I saw in the live stream of one of the developers, the graphics and general gameplay with other people, multiplayer aspect doesn't even look multiplayer. I don't know if I like that compared to other MMOs, which is another point. It's going to be exactly like other MMOs. It's a fantasy multiplayer game. Everyone's going to be like elves, humans, same stuff. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to sort of...
Well, it's curious to see what they're going to do to make them unique, make them any different from any other game that's out there, and that's where I got to see. I know they're going to have the story and the fan base behind them, but that's not enough for an MMO. We've seen that before. We've seen that in other series where they're like, oh, we can just make an MMO out of our game and everybody will buy it now.
So basically, if there's no room for it to become a multiplayer, like it doesn't add to the story or doesn't give any better quality to the gameplay for the gamers, then don't add multiplayer and leave it alone. If it's doing good on its own as a single player, just leave it at that. Don't get greedy.
I can give a great example of where they had a game that they stuck multiplayer in it, and they didn't need to. Because I see a lot of things doing this just to stick it in to get their multiplayer fans out. They'd be like, "Hey, we have multiplayer. Buy our game." I know you really never played any of our games before, but it's got multiplayer. You can play with your friends. Buy it. Tomb Raider actually has a multiplayer aspect. Heck, I even forgot that I even had it after playing it for a little while. The newest Tomb Raider actually has a multiplayer aspect into it, and I've heard that it's horrible. Doesn't need it, and it didn't do well, because that game was not designed for multiplayer. It's designed to be in a platforming adventure game. It's not a multiplayer game at all.
It's Lara Croft, not Lara Croft and Friends.
No, exactly. It's not Lara Croft and Friends, no. And I guess, yes, if they added a game where in the game storyline you actually had a friend actually walking around with you that you could do maybe a co-op thing, maybe Tomb Raider 2 could have a co-op thing going on. But no, don't do the competitive multiplayer. It's not going to work. It can't be done. It doesn't fit. That's pretty much our feel on it, of what we think about multiplayers in single-player games. Single-player games can definitely rely on just their merit. Just look at Bioshock Infinite and Last of Us. Those games are single-player only. Amazing games. Like I've said before, I think Last of Us deserves an award for like Game of the Year and stuff. It is a single-player game. Only. Nothing else with it. You cannot play with your friends. Don't even try it. It won't work.
Friends not included.
That's my feeling on it. Don't stick multiplayer aspects into games that don't deserve it, or don't need it. Just to make sales. Stop doing it.
You don't deserve friends.
Tomb Raider and Friends. Make that a game. Moving right along now, we're actually going to get into a news story. Thanks, Panzer, for that question. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what we're going to go in for news now is there's been some crazy news going on around Call of Duty Ghosts versus Grand Theft Auto 5, and who's the king of the games this year. For the past 4 years, Call of Duty has reigned supreme when every time they release a Call of Duty game, within a couple of days we get a chest-beating response from Activision saying, our game sold the best on the launch. Haha. This year, of course, we're waiting for that because you have Grand Theft Auto within 3 days making $1 billion, breaking records across the board. Amazing launch. I can't believe it actually launched like that. That was amazing and unbelievable. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, within 24 hours after Call of Duty Ghosts launch, news stories across the United States and probably even other countries too, started announcing that apparently Activision's game Call of Duty Ghosts sold $1 billion worth of retail in 24 hours, and even going so far as to rag on Grand Theft Auto 5 as taking 3 whole days to do the same thing. Some of the news stations that actually reported this included ABC 6, Fox Channels 32, 47, 5, and 2. Their business only even went into it, and they were the ones that actually really even stabbed Grand Theft Auto, saying that they took a whole 3 days to do the same thing. But even other local channels, and they all reported and actually said straight up, this game has made over $1 billion. CNBC was one of the only few that actually got it right. What this was an Activision press release stating that they actually did $1 billion of sell-in merchandise. That is the thing that they use to confuse people. They use the term sell-in. Sell-in means what they've sold to game stores and retailers or resellers. This does not mean it's $1 billion worth of product that's actually been sold to consumers. So, yeah, it's just what's hit the shelf and is available for you to buy. They sold $1 billion worth of product to be sold. And that's where they kind of caught. What they used was the term sell in instead of sell through. And that's the actual term that means that it's been sold. Grand Theft Auto 5 in 3 days sold through over $1 billion. So,
basically they got a little bit sour of the fact that they didn't do it in 24 hours, but we'll make it seem like we did because then maybe we'll get more money in.
Well, what I think it was an actual amazing PR move because all of a sudden, 24 hours after they launched, you have this mass media explosion of all these news article companies saying, hey, look how well our game did, go buy it! You had all these people suddenly hearing that somehow this game made $1 billion in a day. Holy crap, so many people have it, I gotta go buy this so I'm not out of the loop. So in my mind, it was an amazing PR stunt, and I can't help but feel like they did this on purpose. They put this press release out on purpose to hopefully trick the media because, well, it's been a big problem with the media recently. They tend to jump on stories to be the first to announce it without doing due diligence sometimes. So, yeah, all these news companies were reporting that they made $1 billion, and only CNBC clarified that this was just what was available in stores. Now, it's been over 3 days since the game launched, and we have not heard anything about them being king of the hill, and I'm highly anticipating that if they did, they would have beaten their chest like crazy if they had actually beaten Grand Theft Auto 5. So I'm fairly confident in being able to say I believe Grand Theft Auto 5 is this year's king of the hill for best launch. Yep. Call of Duty has finally fallen off his throne. What do you think?
Well, it's well deserved, isn't it? They don't listen to their customers and the gamers that play COD. You reread all these reviews online about referring to this boom from the media saying, oh, they sold $1 billion worth of games. No, they didn't. There's, like Zach said, there's no proof of this at all.
Yeah.
And all the people are commenting saying, well, what do you expect? You haven't listened to us. We've said, fix this. There's a bug doing this, blah, 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 blah. And you've not done anything to fix it, but you keep bringing out new games. Whereas GTA held off for a little while, made a new game. And when they put more detail into all the textures and little things that people have picked up on and noticed, like, oh yeah, we could change that. Can you do this? And they've listened and they've done it. And so it's paid off. That's why GTA has been so big.
Yes.
That's why the biggest release in game history.
And
God,
they
you didn't do
rightfully
it,
did the hype
so
for
you
it.
suck.
Yeah, they rightfully built up the hype for it. They had the people who've been like, I want this game, so they made the sales. When you put out a game every single year, you kind of get, and you don't really change much, you get kind of stale. They like the new additions, they like the concept of a new storyline. But yeah, once you get past that first initial hump of all the new stuff, it's the same game you've been playing for several years. And that's where I think they've kind of fallen off. They need to make a new game and maybe stop releasing every single year. Hey, Activision, this gets to your desk. Hold back for a year. Take a break. Really look at your game and decide where can we make improvements. I want to see military first-person shooter games become this amazing, oh my god, what am I playing kind of game. We know first-person shooters can do it. Look at Bioshock Infinite. We know it can be done. Do it. Make this game that blows our head off. Literally.
Yeah.
Please.
Let people miss it. Let people miss playing this game and be like, oh, I kind of wish they'd make a new one. Let them have that little bit of time to sort of push it out there, encourage them, and then hit them with it.
Alright, moving right along now, we're going to go into an action another question. This one comes from Rob at Unseen Perfidy. I hope I'm saying that right. If you had an unlimited budget and creative control, what would you make as your dream game, Foxy?
This is the big question. It's like, if you won the lottery, what would you spend it on? There's so many possibilities.
What would
It's
you
like a kid in a candy store. I would pull loads of different pieces of games together. Like, I loved Time Splitters. I loved the aspect of all the different game modes, and you could play it for hours and not get sick of it with all the flipping gingerbread men and like ray guns and stuff. I found it fantastic. I loved it. I'd throw that back in a game again, especially with all the HD qualities you can do now. I'd have that. I'd throw in probably little bits of extra customization that you don't get in games nowadays, especially in survival aspects. I like the fact that if you walk along the street and you see a bit of pipe hang off the wall, you could probably ply that off and use it. I want you to be able to do that in games. I want you to be able to notice these little details and make use of it like you would in real life sort of survival style games. So I guess pulling that from The Last of Us, you wander around and you see all these things and you're like, oh, I wish I could do this with this, or I wish I could do that. Like, especially getting in cars and stuff, why can't you pull off spare parts and make use of them? Like, be able to weld them, build a welding kit, and I guess crafting system. That's what I'm getting at. I wish you could have some sort of survival crafting system.
So, I like
put them together and be able to use them.
Yeah, actually, surprisingly, that means that we kind of have a similar game in mind. Like, I really want that. Like, I guess I gotta make the joke first and just say I'd make Final Fantasy VII too. But personally for me, I never see this survival game yet that really just encompasses real survival, where you can literally do anything. Like, they have games that definitely hit it to a point, but like, I want to have like almost like Fallout with a combination of Sims Castaway on the PS2, not on the PC. I'll explain what I mean in a minute. Like, when I go into this, like, I want the barren landscape out there that I could maybe build out there and have a land out there, or if I want to be able to go into the city of Washington, look up at a high-rise building, look like the 10th floor and be like, I want to build a base there, and go up there, tear down some walls, pull apart some desks and stuff, and build my own little base in the 10th floor of a skyscraper with a ladder rope that I can just climb down when I'm ready to go forage for food and stuff, and maybe build my farm in the next level up or something. I don't know. I would just be able to do whatever I want, when I want, how I want. And I really want that. Like,
I want it my way.
Exactly. I want to be able to build actually have to survive in this world. Like, if I see a building out in the wasteland that has this wall, I'm like, I need that. That would be a great wall for my building. I want to be able to take my axe, hack that wall down, and drag it back to my building and put it up and staple it into place. I want to be able to do that. Just
basically post-apocalyptic Sims. Is this so much to ask for? Come on, guys.
Exactly. Well, like I said, Sims Castaway for the PS2 actually was an amazing concept of that Sims system. Like, don't take the PC version. You harvest stuff and you got like Simoleon style like material, they called it, where it was just money. But in the Sims 2 in the Sims Castaway for PlayStation 2, if you hacked away the leaves of a banana tree, you got banana tree leaves, and you could make outfits or buildings with those materials, and they looked like it. If you didn't have banana tree leaves, you couldn't make that specific. It made sense.
Yeah.
And that's what
You
I want
can't
to
just
see.
be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go pick some grass and make a banana house. It doesn't work that way. It's
No.
grass. It's a
Exactly.
grass house.
Exactly. So I guess what we're saying is we want like a 18 plus post-apocalyptic Sims game.
Yep.
Apparently means
With the whole roaming aspect of Rockstar games, because that's amazing. I love being able to free roam. Yeah.
So apparently me and Foxy want the same game, so somebody get on it. Thanks for that question, Rob. That was an awesome question. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Trying to decide what
Rob.
we want to play. Moving right along, this week we also had Blizzcon. That launched, especially after their 1-year hiatus. They didn't have a Blizzcon last... 4 main things that they went over, plus one movie, actually, we'll go into that in a bit, was their new World of Warcraft expansion, which was the Warlords of Draenor. You got Diablo 3's new expansion pack, Reaper of Souls. You got the card game that they do, Hearthstone, which is based on WoW. And you also got their Heroes of the Storm mashup game, which actually really haven't looked much into that game, because, again, I don't play World of Warcraft, so I don't know much. Pretty much what we'll cover quick is just, I know that I sent something over to you, Foxy, about they're upgrading the character models, and I know you used to play, you're no longer playing now, but what do you think of the new character models?
I think it's a really, really good step. Like, they're deciding to bring in new models and textures and totally redefining the way that the models of orcs, dwarves, and gnomes look. So it means their shadow definition is completely changed. They look so much, I want to say real, even though orcs aren't obviously real. They look so much more real, as if they could be real. The hair texture is so much more defined. Like, you could see all the single strands of hair, which you couldn't do. It was kind of blocky and choppy, almost pixelated in the old models. So it's just so cool. They're basically trying to catch up with the detail they've put into the pandas in Pandarians.
Yeah, Land of Pandaria or something like that. The Panda expansion is what I call it.
Yeah.
That's all I know it for is the Panda expansion, but yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree, it's definitely a much-needed update. I also heard they've added Forza to it, which could be very interesting, but
It's not just the character models as well, they're updating the textures for the environment, the NPCs, and the objects, so everything is getting a revamp and looking sexier, basically.
Nice! Cool. So apparently they're actually also going to bring out a World of Warcraft movie. What do you think? I don't know about that, Foxy. What do you think?
I don't know. It's so difficult when they put a game into a movie, because you can miss out on so much. It's the same with putting making adaptations from books to movies, because you're going to miss out on so much, because your imagination does most of the work. And it's the same with game playing. You're the one who's controlling the little character. Do you really want to watch a movie where it's all being decided for you? I guess some people will dig it, but I don't want it.
I don't know. I think I found the reason why games can't be made into movies is just because the way you design a movie and the way you design a game are completely different. Games, you have to have filler stuff. You have to have like fights and puzzles and things like that. You can't have that in a movie, because movie has to just keep constantly moving forward. So you can't convert the two to each other. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do. Now, this is not the first Warcraft movie, just to point it out. Most of the time, the original ones focus more on the humans, though. They made them be like the whole high and mighty people taking out the orcs. Now, this time, they want to focus more on like a mutual standing, where they're going to focus on the orcs as much as they focus on the humans, and maybe let you decide which one is in the right, or if anyone's in the right, or if no one's in the right. Maybe like the orcs, I guess, because people like the orcs now because of World of Warcraft. They don't look at the orcs as these evil people anymore.
Yeah, so. It's the curiosity that's keeping me sort of, okay, I'll see how this goes.
I want to just do a quick shout out for the Diablo 3 expansion. They're adding a couple of cool features to that. I'm actually excited because I do like the Diablo series. I actually really enjoyed Diablo 3. One of the things that they're doing, though, that I was very surprised to hear is they took out the auction thing, and they actually quoted the reason why they took it out was because ultimately the auction house ultimately undermines Diablo's core gameplay: kill monsters and get cool loot. But as far as I'm concerned, if someone wants to take advantage of the auction house and skip that gameplay, that's up to them. If that's the reason why they're taking out the auction house, why don't they take cheats out of every single game then? The idea of the auction house is for those people who don't want to take the challenge or can't do the challenge, but they want to play the game because their friends play it or whatever reason is, they still can. I have never bought anything from the auction house because I like that aspect of the game. I've ignored the auction house. I'll put some items up, but I've never bought anything from the auction house because I don't want to take... I like the core aspect of kill creatures, get cool loot. I like it! So I'm not gonna ruin it by going to the auction house. If someone does it, that's their choice. They don't have to use it. Nobody's supposed to gun to yourself saying, use the auction house. It's just how I look at it. It's up to you whether or not to take advantage of it.
It's up to you to decide, is it worth it?
Exactly. Do you want to lose the ability? Do you want to lose out on finding it yourself and getting that triumph of saying, hey, I found this, or do you just want to buy it? And the thing is, to keep in mind, some people they don't care. They want a couple more features, I guess, just to throw out that they're adding. They're adding in the adventure mode, which is just go anywhere, kill anything. They unlock all the waypoints, and you get to take on bounties to go take place in certain missions, kill boss monsters, special creatures, clear out dungeons. When you do this, you get keys, and these keys can unlock the next aspect, which are Nephilim Rifts. These are mishmashed random dungeons that are created taking bits and pieces of dungeons of other areas. So, yay! Awesome updates and stuff. So that's that's the main things I noticed out of BlizzCon. I didn't really see much else that I was like, ooh, I must talk about. But I might do a quick little article to show you can find more information on the BlizzCon and what else really is going on. I'll put a article on my website of where you can go to find out more information. A lot of stuff was covered. If you are a Blizzard fan person that you do want to know more information, head on over to my Tumblr page. The link's down in the description, and check out that article so you can go to the website that will actually show you or give you up-to-date information. What we got last up, just to kind of wrap up the show, is what I'm going to call is Quick Fox. This is when I'm just going to throw some questions at Foxy over here, see what she answers. Mostly this is just kind of give you guys an inside view of Foxy as much as we can. Hi! Hi. No awkwardness at all. So the first question that actually we did get for this was from Underinspired. Me and Nelly answered this last episode, so if you want to get our answers, you can check below. Mine was Unaleska. This is worst character or villains. You actually get the idea of giving us your worst character. So you may not have to do villain all the time. You could have to give a character that you just thought was stupid. What do you think?
Right, well, honestly, the first person I thought of was Ellie out of The Last of... Because she gets in the way. The amount of times you hear me say, Ellie, get out of the way, get out of the way, you're so annoying, Ellie, get out of the way. Ooh, it's the two aspects of it, isn't it? It's the fear of who's the worst character, like what makes you scared of playing, and then there's the annoying, the frustrating aspects of, why won't you die? But yeah, Ellie was one of them that popped into mind, just because of the sheer frustration that she wouldn't get
anybody.
away.
So many games have the bad person you gotta escort. I remember Resident Evil 4, how many times I shot the president's daughter, or she just died because she ran into the arms of a zombie. I'm like, what are you doing?
Why are you doing this?
Get out of my way! So, yeah. Next question I'm sure a lot of people are actually wondering, and I figured this would be a great question to ask. Foxy ears. What's behind the whole Foxy bit?
Well, foxes, obviously, it starts from something. It started off because they're my favourite animal. I love foxes, and I think in the UK, hunting has been a really big problem. I'm just like, well, humans were the ones who moved here in the first place. Why are we having issues with animals when we could put up fences and not kill them? But basically, the whole persona came from playing Shire, which was what kicked in gaming for me pretty much on the hardcore side. I started playing and I named my character Volpers, and that's part of the Latin name Volpers Volpers for Red Fox. And then when I started making more friends, they started calling me Foxy Lady, and 3 of the guys who I played with, they're all Croatians, and they knew each other, and one of them gave me the nickname Foxy Lady, so whenever I logged into Ben, he'd be like, oh, Foxy Lady, hi. And it just started from there, really. I was like, is it a bit cheesy if I give my YouTube name Foxy? I was like, nah. I'm not being arrogant, it's because I like foxes.
There you go, and then you got the fox ear to go along with it. The fox ears are awesome.
Yeah.
They just kind of set that persona and makes you unique and makes you stand out, so I like them. They make me laugh all the time I see them, especially when you get the evil smile that you get sometimes when you're winning in certain games. You look like a sly little fox.
It's well suited for a game, for a gaming sort of name.
It works. So, that was my thing. What are you looking forward to the next game? What's your next big game you want?
Walking Dead Season 2.
I guess that's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yeah. The first series was so gripping. I cried. Anyone that I've seen playing it has cried at the end, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played it and is intending to play it, but absolutely heart-wrenching. And it's The Walking Dead. It started off as the comic series, and then they made the TV adaptation, and then they've made the game, and Season 2 is coming out later on this month at some point. Don't know when. There's no concrete date, but I'm so looking forward to it.
I'm giving you guys a hint. Look for a walkthrough. He's probably going to make a video of that.
I will. I definitely will. I can't be bothered with the first season because I think it's a little bit too late, but
I hear you.
Yeah, I'll definitely do Season 2.
Yeah, I think that's enough for now, though. What I would say, though, guys, check out Foxy's channel. She's awesome. I'll have a link down below. I'll also have a nice little picture of you guys to click on somewhere in the video for you to click and go to her channel. She does pretty much a little, like I said last episode, she does a little bit of everything. She does gaming, vlogs, travel vlogs, makeup tutorials, literally just a little ball of fox in one. That's the show today. Thanks to everybody for all the questions. That was awesome. This was a great show. Nelly, can't wait to see you again next week. Foxy, I will see you on other games.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been so much fun.
Thank you. This is a blast when we get it. You guys don't get to see the behind the scenes stuff. Maybe if she gives me permission, I'll show you some bloopers sometime soon.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Awesome. So maybe I'll give you guys a blooper reel sometime soon. But till next time, guys, I'm Zek. Press start.
I'm Foxy. Fauna.
Keep pressing those buttons, guys. Take it easy.